but I have some. But I told him, I do it. But he's like, he's almost 70. Might.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bingle,
Here.
Commissioner Blackman, Commissioner Huff, Commissioner Outlaw,
Here.
Commissioner Powell,
Present.
Commissioner Reddick,
Here.
Commissioner Scott.
Here.
We have quorum.
Right. Ms. Askew, you want to go ahead and do that before we consume?
I do. So we have reviewed the proposals for the FEMA consultant, and they've been rated. And based on our rating, the Grant Works Incorporated scored 94.33. With O'Brien scored 89.33. Enigma Consulting scored 58, and McField Consulting scored 51. With that being said, the agency would like to move forward with a contract with the Grant Works Incorporated for a period of 2 years with the option to extend for one more. Hopefully, we won't need them that long, but it is not to exceed $30,000 per year. We believe that this is the best group to move forward.
Thanks for the questions, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Ms. Askew, is the Grant Works, is this Valerie?
I cannot state that. So, I mean, this is the company that we choose to move forward with. I can't.
So I do want to
Thank you.
discuss with I want to discuss with the board because I want to make sure that I totally understand this. So, in July, I sat on a phone call and we've been working with Valerie. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about her as our FEMA consultant. And I was on a phone call with Ms. Askew, myself, Mr. Huff was on the phone call, and some of the people from the FEMA, I guess, people from Raleigh. And we were starting to have the meeting and we said, who's missing? And we said, Valerie was missing. We were waiting for her to come on a line. And one of the FEMA consultants said, well, wait a minute, she no longer works for Witt O'Brien. And I said, she doesn't work for them? And they said, no, she doesn't work. But Miss Askew said, well, if she knew that, but that she was cleaning up her stuff and she needed to attend this meeting to clean up, which makes sense to me. So that was because one of the state people said, no, Mr. So-and-so, and I'm sorry, I didn't write down the name, has taken her place. Again, I have no issue with that whatsoever. I think Valerie's done a good job. She's formed her own company from my understanding. This may be her company, the Grant Works. I don't know, but I think that's really good. So that's the first question and concern. That's why I'm asking.
What is your question?
My question is that what she did? Because if she left one to go to the other,
She did not form another company.
Okay.
No, that is not.
she went to work for somebody else then.
She did.
Okay. Because I think continuity is very important for us since we've started with this person who again has exhibited excellent skills and knows her stuff. I think continuity is important. The second thing I want to check about is that we hired her under a piggyback contract. Is everybody on this board familiar with a piggyback contract? Members, it's when you hire somebody through somebody else's contract. And they do it in government all the time. It's not unusual. There's nothing wrong with it. So what I discovered in asking for the Witt O'Brien contract is that what we did is we hired them via the Housing Authority of Houston, Galveston area. This was the contract they originally had with Witt O'Brien. And then we entered into it December 21st of last year. And again, at our last meeting, we were told the reason we needed a new consultant is because the contract expired. The contract did expire, but it expired with Galveston. It didn't expire. We haven't been through a full year yet.
But we piggyback means we got to file it in.
Correct, but you did not, we were not aware of that. I'm just trying to understand what we're doing and how we're doing it. The second thing is in our July 17th meeting, there was no mention. I pulled the minutes from our July 17th meeting, and in your report, in the director's report, there was nothing said as far as we're losing a FEMA consultant or we need to go out for another bid. That was not told to us. And this proposal for another FEMA consultant was issued on July 18th, the day after our meeting. Again, I just want to know how we're doing this and how we're handling this. That's all and that is my question. I like Valerie. I think we should stay with her. I think it's important that we have continuity at this point. We've had enough upheaval and moving. I think we need to know the terms of the plan and the game. I don't care who we go with, but I would like to stay with Valerie if I think we should give points for continuity. I think there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to know what everything is in front of us, not behind us. And that's my concern.
Mr. Chairman, may I make comment?
Go ahead, sir.
Don't know much about any of these firms. I do know the track record we had with our consultant, which is very familiar with New Bern and certainly came to the table with how much with all the deep $60-some million. I question why we are not looking at maybe the consultant that the city used. Obviously,
They probably didn't respond to the RFQ.
well, I think way back when the hurricane happened, I think there was some communication made as to if they would have any interest in it. And, time is of the essence. I certainly would like to see
Absolutely.
us join into an agreement with somebody, but
The thing is, I would not, regardless of this, I would not be in favor of hiring whoever the grant works in if it did not include Valerie. I think it's important that we have continuity and somebody who understands. I mean, she's come this way for almost a year now
Right.
with Ms. Askew, and I think it's important that we continue with somebody rather than getting a new person in here trying to bring them up to speed, starting back at step.
I agree with that. But the protocol is to put out the request like they did, right? So we can't go in personally find a person. This disrupt the protocol, doesn't it?
I don't know, but if our contract was with her for 1 year, she came into the contract on December 22nd. She still has time on her plate.
It wasn't with her, it was with
O'Brien.
Okay.
with an individual person.
Okay,
So it hasn't expired with Widow Bryan yet.
It has, and if you want to see the email that Widow O'Brien sent to me saying it expired, do you want to renew it? I'll be happy to give you that.
Okay, it also says in here that there was you sent it to me, it said that that they agreed to extend the contract. What you did is, it says that amendment number 1, this amendment modifies the above referenced contract. This contract is extended through July 31st, 2024, and it was dated June the 29th of 23. So it was extended.
Not by me, I didn't.
But Widow Bryan extended it.
We did it, we had the option of not extending it.
opting out.
Right.
Okay, that's fine, but again, I want to know all of this. This is in arrears. I need it up front. And I think this has all come about because Valerie doesn't work for them, and I'm okay with that. People move to other places and do other things, but I want continuity. So if that's the case, then just be upfront, and we could have hired her personally.
Well, if you
So-
would like to do that,
Then just tell it.
And you all do that,
Yeah.
then you will be fine for procuring somebody without going through the process. And you could possibly be sanctioned, so choose to do whatever it is you feel best.
Everything noted, duly noted, it's in the minutes, things of that nature. But at this
Who
point.
works for this
But it-
company.
at this
But
point,
it sounds like by doing that, you're trying to go after one person. Should
That's
we be
illegal.
doing that?
No, it's not.
Why? I get you like her. I get she knows everything, but I'm pretty sure she's not the only one that does.
Then why didn't we stay with
So,
Widow?
but her name is not down here as a firm. She was a part, did you say, of
She works for Whit O'Brien.
Okay, so she left for whatever beknownst reason. I mean.
Yeah, then why
and-
didn't we just stay with Widow Bryant through December 21st? We had the effective date was December 21st, and it was for a term, and shall remain in effect until terminated in accordance with section 29. And section-
That we didn't have to, that was what they proposed? Is that what you
And
said?
so if she wasn't gonna be there, it would be the best for the agency to find another.
Another.
Well, then we should be told that.
Oh, I didn't look.
Okay.
She's not there, it's best for the agency to find another FEMA consultant.
Right.
I mean, I think I've said.
Yeah, yeah.
So was that not made clear prior? I mean, it
I'm not
seems as
sure
though
we didn't
something
understand
is
it.
unknown from what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out
I
what
mean,
it is
I
that
thought
you
so
don't know.
too, so I'm not
She
sure.
did say that she did say, in one of our meetings that she
It
was
was
gonna
the
be
last
leaving.
meeting in August. Yes,
Okay.
it was. She did. But this was effective. We put out the RFQ on July the 18th,
Okay,
but we had no mention of the meeting the day before, which
Uh,
was Monday, the 17th.
okay.
In the minutes, under the director's report, there's no mention of the FEMA consultant or anything. Again, I'm just stating
So
facts.
do
It's
you
not
think
my
it's
personal
something that
opinion.
because it
Yeah,
wasn't mentioned the day before that should have been mentioned?
Yes,
Is it-
absolutely. This is this board's option to say, please move forward with the RFQ because we don't have a FEMA consultant. This board would be the one,
But do we have to have our executive director? Do we have to tell her every RFQ that she has to put out there?
but she
If
has to
she already
advise us, the
knows-
board, she advises us on everything else. Okay.
Does she have, I don't think that is, and I'm asking, I guess, that she has to tell us every RFQ that she is going to put out. She does not. She doesn't. She doesn't tell us every RFQ that she is going to put out if she already knows that this is what we need.
Oh, wait a second. When you enter into a contract like this, you must have the approval of the board. Otherwise, she wouldn't have to bring this.
And this is the
today.
approval, this is what we're doing right now.
I understand, but we're supposed to be apprised, just as we are with the other group.
Apprised of the RFQ,
Yes, apprised of the fact that.
and that's what I'm just saying, like, no, we're not. We're not.
Can we agree to disagree? Because
Sure.
professionally, I disagree with that as far as every board structure I've ever been on, anything that.
And I think that's where the confusion is. This is not every board that you've
I
been on.
understand, this is an
This is not-
authority. This is a public body.
Hey, listen, hey,
Right.
hey, come on, we going round and round and
I
round.
understand. I'm about the process. I've always been about the
But
process.
she followed the process.
We,
Can I ask a question about the process?
Sure.
hey, guys,
I just have a legal question, Mr. Gray. When a governing body does not agree with the RFQs, tell us the process to go henceforth to procure a particular service when a board does not agree with the RFQ nominees.
Reopen the process and seek
Right.
additional proposals.
Okay, is more to it than that? Any type of public notice, procedurally, any ad hoc group or executive director totally would bring that back based on input of discussion as to other potential. I know sometimes it's hard. I know with banks, sometimes we couldn't even get more than one bank to make a
Right.
RFQ. So,
Typically, an executive director would put out the request for proposals, get those in, assess them, line them up in a manner such that the board could consider them. If pursuant to the public bodies bylaws, there are not enough, responses, the ED would point that out to the board and but lay out what all the different proposals were. And if there's a recommendation, sometimes executive directors ask that, they say, we only got 2 responses in, even though the bylaws require 3. What do you want to do about that? And the board would decide as to, well, we went through the process and we only got two. We like this one, and we're going to agree to go outside of the bylaws and select this particular proposal. Or the board could say, and this has happened with other entities, where the executive director brought only one proposal, and it did not in those instances appear that anybody else was solicited, and a board would say, no, you need to make sure you comply with the policy and at least try to get three. Now, sometimes there are certain skills that own their very limited universe of vendors. And it sometimes is virtually impossible to get the number that would match your bylaws. So boards can decide to go, to deviate from what their bylaws require.
Thank you.
So is this in compliance?
Well, I heard a number of different.
I mean, far as,
We had 4 and we need to have 3. We had 4. And they were rated, and the resolution is asked, either they can vote to move forward or they can vote no. Do it again.
That's correct.
I just want to know what our alternatives were besides a yay or nay, or
You can, well,
I understand with hurricanes and stuff, a lot of times it's hard to get people even bid on stuff sometimes.
it is. You could actually, it depends on what the advertisement said when it was put out. But if you do not believe that you have folks that this board wants to go forward with, you could always put it out again.
After we vote on what we already had.
Correct.
Correct.
If you vote to decline
Mhm.
to select one of these entities, then you can decide to and to put out another request for proposals.
Understood.
Well, I'm still saying again, I guess I'm out of order. You're shaking your head.
I'm like, I'm trying to get us to move on.
Oh, I'm trying to move on.
Yeah,
I'm trying to move on and say, I don't even care if we get a consultant. I'm just saying, go get $500,000, knock the buildings down, HPC approved. Go down and do what BoC did, get an investor to come in, a developer, like BoC just did, and build 300 units. Don't worry about reimbursement. Let the investor worry about that.
noted.
And move on with life so that our hemorrhage city can move back to normal.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution as stated here with a couple of correction on
Your
name, stuff like that. But,
Yeah. Your name.
yeah.
What was that?
His name is spelled wrong.
Okay,
What you pointed out to me.
okay. Oh, your name. I got you. Yeah.
All in favor of approving the resolution? Okay, yeah. I didn't get a motion. Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 09.23.01. The FEMA consultant agreement with, and move forward with the Grant Works Incorporated.
With said,
Yes, with said changes.
Change.
and that's on the second.
On my name, that's it. That's mail. And second,
Second.
I do have a question that you guys motion second. Should the extend for up to 3 additional 1-year periods, or is that period or periods for an amount not to exceed 30,000 per year? Is that plural or singular?
singular.
Is it?
It's 1 year period.
Well,
Yeah, that's what she's.
for up to 3 additional 1-year
Hopefully. with-
period.
Okay, I see what you,
Is that a plural or
Period.
that is a period? Okay.
Okay.
I would have thought it was plural myself, but
Period.
I wasn't real good at English, so.
okay,
Option two. No 1 year.
be good.
I I just
Hey, the
down
language-
in minutes and I want it right, you know,
Yeah,
right.
Is that how you should read?
I think it should be plural because it's in a 1 year period is singular.
I agree.
3 of them
I
is
agree.
plural.
I agree.
Just
Says.
minor
Yeah,
pointing it out so that you can
the note,
correct it and it be right. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, I make a motion. Again, do I have to?
Did she have to do it again?
No.
Oh, okay,
Change.
it said changes, as you know.
I would say changes.
One second. All in favor of approving the resolution number 092301 for the FEMA consultant agreement? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No,
No,
The ayes.
it's just based on the process. I want to put in the record, please.
Yeah,
The no vote was based on the process, not on the selection.
no. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Esty, for that. The, at this time, entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor of going into closed session, begin by saying aye.
Aye.